डी
RI लिखिए आप, आगे लिखिए RI SC स्पेस कंप्यूटर।
झालं ना लाईव्ह.
झालं?
चालायला लागले ना.
अरे बढिया सर.
झालं ना. फक्त काय कर माहिती आहे का,
आता हे लिंक फॉरवर्ड करतो मी.
हा तो कर. फक्त हे दोन इथं बसू देऊ नका.
हा ठीक आहे सर. ते
बाकी काय चालेल.
व्हॉलेंटिअरला सांग ना तेवढं.
हो हो
हे सांग रे तू.
हा
मला पण बघ हे काय म्हणतो
हा हा
लेडीज
AST.
लेकिन ते त्यांचे डोके येतात, त्यांना मूव करता येत असेल ते 2 रोज सोडून दे.
अजून खाली करू का
अरे माझा
सर? ऑडियन्सला दिसायला पाहिजे.
वर घ्यायचं का काय थोडं.
एक सेकंड काहीतरी येणार.
This access is not supported by this device.
काय एक्सेसरीज
कोणतीच तर नाही है.
इसको म्यूट करो, पूरा आवाज आ रहा है.
नहीं, आवाज तो लगना है ना. अभी तो चल छोड़ दो ना सर, अभी तो चलेगा.
आपने जो बोला वो भी है. तो इसको म्यूट का ऑप्शन नहीं है क्या?
म्यूट होगा ना.
लाइन में मिले तो क्या फायदा फिर?
नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ अभी का नहीं, जो अभी फालतू का सराउंडिंग जा रहा है उसको
कर दो क्या.
हाँ कर दो ना, फिलहाल का कर दो. हाँ लाईव्ह ना पण
हो
युट्यूबची लिंक कोणती आहे?
चेंज कर देंगे ठीक है अभी मैंने देखा बाहर आपको चेंजेस मत करना है ना पहले कनेक्ट
हाँ करेक्ट.
की वायफाय आहे ना तर लावलाय.
हां 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 खाली हा लावू शकतो. जर लागलं ना तर हा लावू शकतो. हा तोच आहे काहीच नाही. हां कारण हा चार्ज असेलच कारण कंटिन्यू आहे. तुझं डाऊन झालं तर हा काढून तुझं लावू. एक्सक्यूज मी आप लोग थोड़ा सा उस साइड में बैठिए क्योंकि यहाँ से स्ट्रीमिंग हो रहा है ना तो आप आपकी हेड्स आ रहे हैं तो उस साइड उस साइड में कर सकते हैं. आप थोड़ा अभी के लिए हट जाओ. अभी यहाँ डायरेक्टली आप इधर नहीं उधर 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 बैठ सकते उधर बैठ सकते उधर बैठ
हॅलो लॅपटॉप पाहिजे होती. थांब येतो मी.
So whichever tweet you are tweeting about or whichever post you are LinkedIn, do tag us, and we have some special goodies for you. The one with the most number of likes on Twitter, our LinkedIn post goodies for you. The one with the most number of likes on Twitter, our LinkedIn post will be getting some of the goodies from us. So do tag us. Thank you.
So you can use this hashtag for all social media platforms. So चलो ट्रेंड करते हैं आज.
I think the energy is a little bit low. Right. So once again, I'm Rinesh Badal.
And I am Samiksha Bharti, the host for today's event. And it is an absolute honor to host you all today. Let me tell you, we do not keep quiet while at the Cloud Community Day. Show some energy right here. And Rinesh, you did not get a very well response here. So let me try once again to bring some energy in this room. Kasakai Nagpur! All right.
तो बेसिकली हम लड़के हैं ना, तो हमें रिस्पॉन्स नहीं मिलता है. अच्छा, once more. क्या बोलते हैं नागपुर? That's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So.
So energy थोड़ी तो कम थी ना starting में, but at least they've brought this here together. So I guess everyone's here right now. Do you think you are here?
Yes.
But actually, you all are somewhere in the cloud. Sounds weird, right? Very weird. But trust me, I'm not lying. It has been nearly 16 years since the 2006 conference, in which Eric Schmidt referred to a cloud service as belonging to somewhere in a cloud. He introduced this as a common term to use, and he got the coining credit as the cloud. To know more about this, we all are here today. it gives us immense pleasure to welcome you all to the Google Developer Group Cloud Nagpur's annual flagship event, Cloud Community Day 2022.
Yeah. So Samiksha, do you know that this is the first time but Google Developers Group Cloud Nagpur has been organizing the Cloud Community Day 2022?
Yeah.
Okay. So possibly if it was not the lockdown, we would have hosted this 2 years back. But back then, we were too busy stalking someone else's social media and scrolling memes. Yeah.
Seems like you are a huge fan of memes. So, are there any meme files in the house? Any meme creators? Anyone? Please make some noise for all the meme lovers out there. Oh, nobody likes memes here. So I guess you are not a meme fan then.
No meme fans? No one?
So, if you are a meme fan, please make some noise.
That's it.
Okay. So can we have some memes on the screen, please? All right. Oops.
आहे ना पटलं तुला
Seems like these technical folks know a little too much about you, Rinesh. FYI, guys and girls, Rinesh is an Android developer. And it seems like now there's a cold war between your host and the technical folks.
Alright, I'll answer this soonish, but with the beta comeback, till then, let's get started with today's event. Our experts will tell you how Google Cloud Platform and Google Cloud certifications can help you in accelerating your career by boosting your knowledge. So, what is GDC Cloud Nagpur?
A place for students, cloud developers, and architects to come together to learn, discuss, and explore the latest advancements in cloud technologies. Being said that, all of you have the opportunity to learn that right here. Doesn't it make you feel like you are on cloud 9?
Alright. रुकावटें आती हैं सफलता की राहों में. रुकावटें आती हैं सफलता की राहों में, ये कौन नहीं जानता. फिर भी वह मंजिल पा ही लेता है जो हार नहीं मानता. So now I would like to invite the face of this event and the organizer of Google Developer Group Cloud Nagpur.
He is the advocate at Cloud Casa by Catalogic and founder of DaveScript, a global community. Co-founder of New York-based startup Treble LLC and director of Amfan Technologies Private Limited. With this, please help us welcome the very vital Vedant Kennard.
उतने तो रजिस्ट्रेशन ही भेजे नहीं थे 300 प्लस yes could yes Sarpanga any specific it said that जितने ज्यादा लोग yes करते हैं तो उनका जो एवरेज होता है ना that is very close to the correct value maybe to be honest मुझे पता नहीं मैं ऐसे ही पूछ रहा था तुमसे So, let's see. I mean, I was one of the person who was into the sorting team, so I saw that we had people coming from really far places. Like there were even some people who were interested in joining from Berlin and US. But I am not sure, you know, in some duration में they would have been able to come. But कितने लोग अमरावती से हैं? Anyone? Aha, we have people from Amravati. How many are from Nagpur? Majority, obvious है ना? How many are not from Nagpur? Still a huge number. वर्धा से बहुत लोग आए हैं, I guess. वर्धा वाले? Nice. How many of you are professionals? Damn. इतने इवेंट में तो आते नहीं normally. कहाँ रहते हो यार बाकी इवेंट्स में आप लोग? Well, good to see that you all are here because this has itself elevated the level of the event, and seeing all those variations of the people that we have, it's really amazing. So we all have gathered here. We have this event, conference, Google Cloud Community Days. So why do we attend these events? I mean, obviously we have amazing line of speakers. We get a lot to learn. Knowledge तो भर भर के मिलता है. Then there's next thing, networking. Again, speakers है, organizers है, team है. Not only just that, आप आपस में भी network करते हो. You get people connected from different cities and all, right? Fine, that is as well a thing. But anyone would like to share कि हम ऐसा यहाँ पे events करके हम क्या वो बड़ी चीज़ कर रहे हैं, which we individually cannot make it happen. Anyone going yes sir? So it is seen that Bangalore में बहुत events होते, चेन्नई में होते, दिल्ली, गुड़गांव, मुंबई, पुणे, they get huge response, right? But when in some developing cities like Nagpur, having such a huge response is a very rare thing. So what we are doing here is, we are not just networking and learning things, rather we are building a culture in Nagpur. So that more and more companies later on come, places अच्छे होंगे, people won't have to leave Nagpur in order to get better opportunities, right? More and more remote opportunities are there. I myself, I work remotely. I mean, as mentioned, I work at Crowdsource, I work remotely. There are many friends who work remotely. There are some directors of the companies as well, others and all. So we are the ones who are elevating Nagpur. And it is you, me, and each and everyone here who is making that impact. And every drop counts. So this is what being in community is like. How many of you are homesick? बहुत बोर हो गए कोविड के ड्यूरेशन में वगैरह? Anyone? अरे उठाओ, सब है. इतने बोर हो गए कि हाथ भी नहीं उठा पा रहे हो. So you know, it's like growth भी एक चीज है, but you know it gives us, हमारे soul को एक ऐसा point मिलता है that pushes us, that we inspire each other, and we grow all. So I'd like to officially welcome you to Google Cloud Community Day Nagpur, and we had 2,000 registrations in total, and you are the 400 shortlisted people. Can you imagine? It's like the 20% of it. So how many of you are feeling good your 20% में? I mean, are you happy that you are here? Yes. कितने happy हो? इतने से happy हो? जोर से बोलो. Yes. Feels good, isn't it? Being in the top 20%. यार energy कम है तुम्हारी. पता है क्या? I mean, this is such a grand event. So many people gather in here. Let me elevate your energy with a small video that that I've been watching from past 7 years, I guess. And that gives me goosebumps every time I watch it.
Today's I've been on coach. More art than you feel about. But there's another art that you still want. That is the answer. And it comes with that question. Who am I? I am a champion. That's right. You need to remember that all through this game. I will conquer what is not to be conquered. Will not be in my creed. I will believe what others endeavor. I will always endeavor to esteem, honor, respect of my team. I've trained my mind and my body will follow. Who am I? I am a champion. I will acknowledge the fact that my opponents do not expect me to win. But I will never surrender. Weakness will not be in my heart. I will look to my comrades and to those who have fought and those who trained me, and I will draw strength from them. Who am I? I am a champion. I will practice, go out to the field of battle, and I will move in everything I can do. And I will reach my field of battle at any means at my disposal. And when I get there, I will rise violently. I will rip the heart from my enemy and leave it bleeding on the ground. Because he cannot stop me. Who am I? I am a champion. To my side, I have comrades. Comrades that have been through me thick and thin. Through sacrifice, through blood, through sweat, through tears. Never will I let them fall. Never will I let them down. And I will never leave an enemy behind. Because our opponent does not know my heart. Who am I? I am a champion. No one will deny me. No one will define me. And no one will tell me who and what I am and can be. Belief will change my world. It is through conscience, it is through country, it is put me on the moon. And it will carry me through this battle. Who am I? I am a champion.
Repeat after me.
Retreat, those are not in my words. I don't understand those definitions. I don't understand when things go wrong. I don't understand mistakes. But I do understand this. I understand victory, and I understand never surrendering. No matter how bad things go, my heart, my mind will carry my body, my limbs and weak. Who am I? I am the champion. Today will be that day. Not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, right here, in your house, in your home. Who am I? I am the champion. History will remember me. I will not let everybody be kind. I will define myself. I will write my own praises. And no one will tell me what I can end up being. I will never go out, not though I've given everything I've got. Because who am I? I am the champion. 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 Champions of these champions, I'm the one, two, three champions. Who did this for?
So are we? Champions. जोर से. Champions. This is the kind of people I always wanted. Yes. So now it's like we say we are champion, but always it's like we alone can't achieve all the things, right? I mean, this event, though she mentioned I'm the face of the event, I'm not the only one who did it, right? It's the whole team of 20 people who made it possible. Our team is our backbone. Without even if there had been a single person absent, this won't have been to the way that it is now. So obviously the team deserves a huge credit, rather the whole credit of the event. A big round of applause for the team. So I'm Vedant, we can ignore myself. So Anirudh, he's the co-organizer of Judicial Cloud Nagpur. And he as well leads the Fusion Nagpur and several other communities. Similar goes to Sarang as well. We three are working on an initiative to develop Nagpur to its max level. We are leading multiple communities. Like, आज हमारे event है, tomorrow we have one more event and it's like every month. अच्छा, इससे पहले कितनों ने हमारे event attend किया हुआ है Cloud Nagpur का? GCON वालों ने किया होगा? Yes. अजहर वाला किसने किया था? Cool. Well, then moving on, Sarang again, one of the best people that I've met in the community domain, a person who leads several communities, a person की जिसे तुम रात को 12 बजे भी कॉल करो ना कोई community के काम के लिए कभी मना नहीं करेगा. These are the kind of people. Then Shreya, she is the creatives lead. तो आपने अगर कोई भी poster देखा है, कोई भी content देखा है, that goes into her supervision. Okay, so she is one of the strongest person in our team. Then coming on to Mohit, short. अगर अच्छा एक best चीज बताओ क्या? You all should be thankful to Mohit because he was the lead of the shortlisting team. So if you all are here, then thanks to him. Yeah. Then Alia is a 360 person. she is a person where she is extremely good at technical stuff. She is extremely good at content writing. She is extremely good at graphics. I mean, कुछ भी चीज दे दो, she is good at it. ऐसा है. So it's like वो रहता है cricket team में there's always an all-rounder person. She is the one in our team. Then coming to the host of this event, Rinesh Patil. आपने तो मिल ही लिया उनसे अभी. So he has been one of the most energetic person in our team and a person who is always readily available. He normally works into the creative side, graphics and all, but he is extremely good at managing stuff as well. So he is as well a part of our operations team. Coming on to Pratiksha, she is again a graphics designer. आपने जितने भी स्पीकर के posters देखे, she is the one who prepared them. Then Vedant Kakade, he as well is a community guy. I mean, tomorrow we have a collaborated event with CNCG, Cloud Native Community Group, to be held at RCOEM. So he's the organizer of that community and is a very close friend. एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज थी जिस वजह से हम काफी लिंक कर पाते बिकॉज हम दोनों का फर्स्ट नेम सेम था. You know, that was a good relation between us. Then Stuti, so she is a community manager and काफी सारे operations में she helps us. Then Chandrakant, basically ये भी जितने भी volunteers वगैरह हैं, he is the one who is leading it. He is one of the person की जो सबसे ज़्यादा mature है टीम में. He is वो हमसे बड़े भी है तो kind of हमारे भैया लगते हैं वो. And he as well owns a company in Nagpur and it's like it's a nice company. कोई है उनकी students यहाँ पे? Good to see. So Ninath, he is a content writer. So the way we are Pratiksha and all, जो captions लिखते हैं या फिर जो मेल content होता है, he is the one who writes it. Then Faisal Khan, he is a graphics designer. He is a recent joinee, but still he has contributed a lot. अभी cafeteria या food related कुछ भी होगा ना, he is the go-to person. Samisha Bharti, again a recent joinee, as well as the host of the event. She is extremely good at orator. वो तो orator skills तो आपने देख ही लिया, so nothing again to mention. And Samisha, she is a content writer. Again, like Ninath, she helps in all that stuff. Then a special thanks to Persistent Systems. They are our venue partner, and you guys all are here. We could accommodate this much big audience is only possible because of Persistent. So a big clap, applause for Persistent. Then JetBrains is one of our long-term partner. Like we have been associated with them from a really long time, like say around couple of years. So how many of you use JetBrains? इतने सारे लोग, हमारे पास तो 3 ही वाउचर है और मंगाने पड़ेंगे लगता है. कोई नहीं, we have some giveaways and also we'll be giving 1 year full subscription with JetBrains. Rather actually, I mean, majority of you are students, right? So you can go to jetbrains.com/student and you will find all those professional tools for free. So professional से लिए we have the subscriptions. Then coming to our partners, like Persistent was one of them. There are some others like TensorFlow user group. So TensorFlow is, as you all know, it's a machine learning related library. ML enthusiast. ठीक है, अच्छे लोग हैं वैसे. Then हमारा जो GCN का event होता है, it was in collaboration with TFG Nagpur. We have several events coming in, so stay tuned. Then Crowdsource तो मैं ज़्यादा explain नहीं करता हूँ, तो आने ही वाला है बाद में. Okay. DaveScript is a community that I myself lead. It was one of those communities that gave kickstart to JDJ Cloud Nagpur. And because of them, we are today a community of more than 6,000 developers. Then Kotlin user group, again led by Anirudh and Sarang and Tanish. Then Hack Club is there. These are so up sub Kotlin college se ho, right? Almost all of you. If you want to start a club within Hack Club, so you can connect with me. I can connect you with the community managers, and you can have your own community starting. देखो कैसा है, हम ये कर रहे हैं, that is good, but we want you to get inspired and you to lead communities in future. Okay? हम आज नागपुर में हैं, हम शायद से 1 और साल नागपुर में रहेंगे. We are not sure. कंपनी कहाँ भेजेंगी उस हिसाब से डिपेंड करता है. है ना? But we want to pass it to you. You are the ones who will be our successors, who will be leading those communities. So take some initiative, because हम ही ये जो नागपुर को डेवलप करने वाले हैं, कोई बाहर का आके नहीं करने वाला है हमारे लिए. Isn't it? Yes or no? Yes. हाँ. Then cyber area, it's a cyber security startup in Nagpur, led by Adarsh, and security related कुछ भी help चाहिए होगा ना, तो you can connect with him. And Asteris is our streaming partner plus Chandrakant के students तो जानते ही हैं. Hi Chandrakant. Yes. So कुछ भी if you need help relating with training, they all provide it. Then a special mention to Rohit Bhargav sir, Nilesh Dobre sir, Rajiv Reddy sir, and Anup Parchi sir. Venue to मिल गया, but we need some people to coordinate with us, right? I mean, we obviously don't know all this place and all. So it is these people who were there कि जो Saturday भी आए लीव डे के दिन, Sunday भी आए हमारे लिए. So अगर आप ये देख पा रहे हो, if you are able to hear me, it is because of them. A big round of applause for. So we are creating a small release. I mean, though we just started 2-3 months back, right? This community. So we have just created our website. We'll share you that website soon in the later parts. So काफी बोर कर दिया क्या मैंने? वीडियो अच्छे थे, मैं बोरिंग था. So I won't take much of your time. We are already late, so I'll wind it up soon. I just have a small video that will that is related with community, something that you will enjoy a lot, something that will inspire you to be more and more part of Google developer communities. So
we wouldn't be where we are at Google without you, the developer community. Since 2005, we've made dozens of APIs and tools available to you. Then you went out and built marvels. Now, with so many creations, we think there's a better way for them to work together, because there are a lot. So we did some spring cleaning, then asked you how we could do it better. We used your ideas to begin building a single place for all of the developer resources, tools, events, and community. And all that together looks like this. Developers.google.com. But it's more than just a logo. It's a symbol for all the amazing work you do in the world, and how you work together. Soon you can find tools, get ideas, and connect with others, all in one place. Then get down to business. Collaboration and coding power that creates magical solutions with a universal language, so you can take that massive code and blow minds. For reals. So kick off your shoes and explore all the way, because together there's no telling what we'll create next. Developers.google.com.
Thanks a lot for being here again. मैं शायद से आगे अभी स्टेज पे ना आ पाऊँ या I'll be into management, but I'm really glad. A big round of applause for each and everyone here, because you all are.
Thank you, Vedant. Those were your very kind words. And yeah, so we also would like to thank web dev team, and those were Ayush Shetty and Atharva Pandre. So now moving on, everybody knows Google, right? Yes. So everybody knows Google Cloud Platform too. Yes. So any names for Google Cloud Platforms? Any names? And
anyone who knows about the services of Google Cloud, you can raise your hand so that our volunteers will help you with the mic, because we have something for you. For those mentioning the services of Google Cloud Platform, you can raise your hands. Any volunteer to help with the mic?
Vertex AI.
Alright, that's great.
Can you name a few? Can you name a few more?
Few more.
BigQuery, Cloud Buckets,
That's great. So,
feature
We have-
extractions.
alright, that's great, that's great. We have something for you. Your name, please?
Can we have a huge round of applause for her? Anyone else who would like to answer the same question? There. Can someone please pass the mic?
Several services for GCPs like Kubernetes engines, VM instances, and big database we can also handle with it, buckets, and also Google Actions, and that's for my side.
क्लैरिटी नहीं आ रही
What's your name?
क्लैरिटी नहीं आ रही क्या
Myself, Yudan Thakur.
Alright, thanks Vedant. And
We have something.
we have something for you as well.
So, anyone who can specifically name the machine learning services of Google Cloud? Is there anyone who can specifically name some machine learning? Anyone in the crowd?
No one? Hello?
So, are there any machine learning enthusiasts here?
Please raise your hand. If anyone is there.
We have one. Yes, please.
It provides facility for using TensorFlow on that page.
Alright, so do we have any machine learning enthusiasts in the crowd?
Raise your hand.
Raise your hands, please. Okay.
Very few, yeah.
Very few, exactly. अच्छा ऐसा कोई है जिसने इंजीनियरिंग हैकिंग करना है इसलिए लिया Anyone? You can raise your hands, come on.
Only one hand.
Alright. So, our first session is about security in machine learning. To elaborate more on this, we have with us Joynal Ahmed. He's an AI consultant at Google Cloud and he'll be taking this session on machine learning needs extra security. So everybody, please put your hands together for our speaker Joynal Ahmed.
Hi everyone, good morning. थोड़ा जोश दिखा है. Good morning. Great. Before I start, how many of us have built machine learning models till now? Quite a few. शर्म मत करो. कोई शर्म की बात नहीं है. Okay. How many of us can say machine learning have not touched upon our lives? Please elaborate. Okay, that's a question I don't want an answer for, right? Machine learning, yeah, machine learning has been everywhere, right? You know, right from what we buy, what we eat, where we go. Machine learning is everywhere, right? But there's something more to it, right? Today, what we'll be talking about is a thing that we had been neglecting for quite some time, reinforcing security concepts in learning. But a big round of applause for them to organize such a event. But there's something more. Without it, this event would have been possible. There's something more to it. Anyone can guess? Yes. So a big round of for everyone to make it here on a Sunday morning. And make it right, you are clapping for yourself. So don't, yeah. Okay, so let me start. I'm Jainal Ahmed. I am an AI consultant at Google Cloud Global Delivery Center. And I lead some of the large-scale ML projects across the world, right? But there are a few things I want to start with machine learning, right? Just setting the context, right? And I think this would give you an understanding of where machine learning is going. We have seen it booming for quite some time, but these numbers will give you some more context, right? There's this report from IDC which says, by 2025, global spending on machine learning would be around 204 billion. You can understand the kind of market it is creating, right? The kind of opportunities that will come in, right? And with that, right, the kind of responsibilities that are coming to us, right? That, what we are going to do with such large use cases of machine learning and how we can do it right. Gartner says, right, a lot of companies who had been building machine learning models on their, let's say, R&D centers, where they are trying out new features, they're now trying to operationalize them, right? They're now trying to think about how they can take those machine learning models, those features, and out on our hands, right? So that, it can, the use cases can be around healthcare, transportation and anything, right? And this last, right? This thing, machine learning will change their business, right? But why we are saying this, right? So there are certain security challenges in machine learning, right? And we all have seen or have gone through or have worked around securing our software systems so far, right? Our infrastructure so far. But and these are well known, right? But when it comes to machine learning, we're still trying to explore the field. We're still trying to think what can go wrong, what are things that we should do right here. And just two things for this session. The things that I'll be talking today is technical, but it also comes down to people and process. And when I say people and process, it comes down to how open are we to adopt new things? How open are we to think a bit deeper to change our way of working, which will eventually make our work safer. And it is also not possible for us to make any system unhackable. That's a myth. But we can do as much as we can to make sure that we can have a good sleep at the night, right? We can do till there. Yeah. So today, add to that, how many of us are well aware of DevOps or any DevOps engineers here? Okay. Yeah. So DevOps is they in the DevOps world we deal with the infrastructure part of the things, right? How the things or the features or the products the developers build can be shipped into the end users, right? And the whole life cycle of it, right? And with that, in the last couple of years, right, we also had been working around MLOps, right? Where we talk about basically combining machine learning and DevOps and saying how we can do machine learning efficiently, how we can complete the whole loop, right? From where we start thinking about a machine learning project to deployment and then the loop back, right? How we can optimize that. But here, what we are going to do is we are combining MLOps, DevOps with SecOps. So just to summarize this, we are looking at machine learning from a security operations point of view, right? What could go wrong there? And if things can go wrong, what are the ways we can solve them? What are the ways we can, put guardrails on there so that we can secure our systems? These are two quotes from these people, and which actually got me thinking around these lines of thought, right? Actually combining these aspects, and which is where I started exploring MLOps or MLSecOps. We are not treating machine learning as our intellectual property, right? Like the way we are treating our code. A lot of us are just dumping the models into public repos in the internet, saying, this is a model and this will give you 90% accuracy, 80% accuracy, use this, right? And with that, and we are also using public shared resources, right? Where we are running this model. And I'll tell you what are the security implications of just doing that can be. But think it as, since we are using on a shared space, there are a lot of people who can steal things, right, which can go wrong. And this is what we all know, right? Machine learning models can go stale, right? We can, over time, the performance can degrade. And with that, and if they are tampered with even further, right, and if they are corrupted, it can have, a lot of, I would say, bad name, bring a lot of bad name to the companies. It can, harm your reputation. And along with that, the business loss is something that, we can recover, right? But the harm that it can bring to your brand name can be drastic. This is all we know. The whole machine learning life cycle, how models are deployed. We have built models, maybe using TensorFlow, using any other models, any other frameworks, right? And we package them into one, I'd say, microservice, and which is then later deployed into any cloud or any on-premises system that may be an edge system. And from there, all the clients call those APIs, right? And these APIs can be REST APIs, gRPC APIs, right? Where we take the data input, what the model runs, and then we push back the output. And we log the metrics and the request in different systems so that we can do postmortem analysis. We can see what was working, what was not working, and then take steps on that. This is all we know, right? A deeper version of is this, right? The whole machine learning life cycle. It starts with data preparation to feature engineering. Then we build the models, do our experimentations, do training at scale, to a point where we finally have a model. Once we have the model, we then go ahead, deploy it maybe on a cloud, maybe on an edge environment, and then we do monitoring of the models, so logging it for it, and based on the things that we identify, we go back and run this loop time and again, right? Question to everyone, right? What could go wrong here, or at what step we need machine learning or to enforce security concepts to secure the life cycle? Anyone? Any wild guess? Anyone take a wild guess? There's no wrong answer. Yeah.
Between model creation and rollout, there needs to be some sort of security layer to test it out or to make sure that it is.
Okay. So once we have a model, we need to test it for security compliances before rolling out outright. Okay. Anyone else? Yeah.
I think at every stage.
Okay, we'll take that as an answer. Anyone else? Yeah.
I think priority will be given to data set only, firstly.
Okay, securing the data pipelines, right from how do we capture data, how do we store data, how do we use the data, who can use the data. Okay. Anyone else? Right from there, I think we have got answers from here. Yeah.
Before deployment or while the deployment is going on.
Okay, once the model is in production, you want to secure from there, right?
There should be also a security layer over there.
Okay. So I think I had given this talk a couple of times, but this is the only place I got a right answer, which is everywhere. We need to secure the whole journey of it, right? From how we get data, how we process data, who can use the data, to finding the right model architecture, then looking at the deployment phase, how we are deploying, what we are deploying, to who can access the model, and the whole loop back, right? We need to secure all of these things. But also, right, if I go through everything, I think it will be evening today and other speakers won't get a chance. So we'll restrict it to a few aspects of things, namely these 5 things. What could go wrong with loading model artifacts, access to model, code vulnerabilities which are there, dependencies that can harm you, and the model and runtime images. We'll focus on this. The idea of this is to give you food for your thought, so that you go back and think, okay, if they create a lot of impact in this. Yeah. How many of, or rather I would say, we all are aware of downloading pickle files, Excel files from the internet using them, right? How many of us has not done that? Nobody, right? So what could go wrong there? Downloading these model artifacts from the internet or dynamically, exposes you to a lot of security vulnerabilities. I'll show you one here, and this could get a bit scary. How many of you know this? Anyone would like to explain this piece of code? The Hello World program of machine learning. There are a lot of people who said we did machine learning or exploring machine learning, right? Please explain this piece of code. Anyone? Yeah. 1 second. I think there's mic coming for you.
So the first part of the code is we are importing all the data sets from sklearn. Sklearn, the library, it consists some inbuilt data sets like iris, all that. The first part is we are distributing it to like labels and features. Then they're importing the logistic regression model, the base model, the skeleton model, and then we are training it we are creating an object of that model, and then we are fitting the entire data on it.
Okay.
Then we are importing joblib. I've never used joblib as of now, but we are basically I think we're testing or validating our model with that from the file.
Okay, I'll take from there. So first part is, the code is very clear. We are using an open source iris dataset. Everyone has done that. Trained a logistic regression model. And here with joblib, what we are doing is we are saving that model, right? Either as a pickle file or as a joblib file, as a h5 file, which could later we can distribute across, let's say, from within teams, or if you wish, we can upload it onto the internet. When if someone needs the same model, they'll download it and they'll use it, right? So what could go wrong here? There's this, but before that, let us look at this, right? This is what that pickle file contains. The pickle file that you download from the internet, this is what it contains, right? And at the start, we can say it tells you details about what it is, right? It says it is a logistic regression model. It needs scikit-learn.linear model.logistic package. It is a multi-class classifier. And all this gibberish that you see is the model weights, which will be loaded to the graph when the model comes to life, right? And this will be used when you do predictions on top of the model, right? Let us now try to see what can go wrong here, right? So this reduce function, this is what Python internally uses to understand what is this file or what should I do with it. When you call this piece of code with open model lib sf, when you do that, Python actually calls this function and try to understand what's there. What we are doing here is we are just trying to change this function, and what we are doing is whenever Python environment to pond.txt. Now, when you just run this line with open joblib as print file read lines, the whole pickle file is now poisoned. Everything that was there in this pickle file is replaced with this CLI command. And now think of this, right? I just did that, and I can package any piece of code here, right? I can write a piece of code which just copies your credentials and mails it to me, right? I can write any piece of code here, package it as a model, and upload it in the internet. Once you download, once you try to open this, that piece of code will automatically run when you load the file. And in this instance, my Conda environment is exposed. And I could just add another line which will mail this to me, right? And this is not only scikit-learn which is exposed. There are a lot of frameworks, open source tools which are exposed to this. PyTorch, which internally uses, pickle, right, is exposed to this. An older one, TensorFlow was exposed to this. And things could get really wrong from here. So what we can do right here, right? What are the things that we could do to solve this? I think the second part is very important, at least for organizations where people and process comes in. Have a trust and discard mechanism in place, right? Have a voting mechanism to understand, okay, this model can be trusted. Should we use this model on our systems, right? Or rather, a very non-tech solution could be, don't download anything from the internet and use on your production machines, right? Have these, dummy environments where you test your models out first, and only if you can trust that model, go ahead and use it on your real cases. Otherwise, discard it and destroy that, right? And the second thing could be, like you said, right? You should have maybe explore the model first, right? Just instead of just loading it model directly, look at what the file contents are. Look at what it contains, what it is. It is really a model. And only then start and go ahead and use them. I think this is, we all know, this is a new world or a new attack vector which is coming, is called adversarial attacks. And this falls under, so the previous one is when you have the model file with you, right? This one, you don't have the model file with you, you only have the API endpoints. Someone said that once it's deployed, we need to have a security layer there, right? So this comes when you have the access to the model, not physically, but you have an endpoint which is giving the model, right? What you can do here is, as an attacker, you can call these endpoints time and again with random data, right? And over the time, what you will be able to understand is, what is it that the model really takes? And what is it that the model does with the data? How it processes it? You'll be able to understand if you analyze it over a large chunk of data. And once you do that, once you understand that, you can actually now have an attack form where every time that model is called with the data, you append your noise to it. And once that goes to the model will start behaving not as intended, right? So in this example, the model which was predicting this horse image is horse, after adding the noise, it has started predicting as a dog. Same, this dog was predicted as a horse. So this could go wrong, right? Even if you don't have access to the model itself. And what you can do here is, to solve this, is basically, again, people and processes. You could have, these security infrastructure secured using VPNs, right? You have to secure your models, your artifacts, right? And also have a mechanism where, you could, let's say, allocate budgets to your team, right? Let's say you, as an Android app team who's calling my model, we can only call the model, let's say, 10,000 times in a day. If you're exceeding this budget, something is fishy, right? You could have these mechanisms. You should be able to authenticate those requests, where it is coming from, right? Even if the model is exposed, it should not be that, anyone can access the model if they can get a hand to the endpoint. Have a mechanism where you can authenticate, you can authorize those people for those inference, right? Those payloads. And then from there, right, you should have this role-based access control mechanism in place. This is a known term in cloud, where you grant access to people based on the role, the team, or the use case that they are working on, right? And based on that, give access to them to the infrastructure that they are supposed to use, not the whole set of things that you have on your cloud. And this is, again, right, I'm not making up. This is a paper from 2020, and they were able to perform this attack on a very large language model, and they were able to actually generate a large chunk of training data just from the model. So think about this, right? They don't have the data that the model from there, they were able to generate the data. Now think of it as for a financial service company, for a healthcare company, where the PII data is very important, right? Your personal data should not get exposed, right? And if an attacker has access to that model, they could generate them back, right? They could actually create those data back. They could, and once they have the data, they can do anything with it, right? The other thing is, I think there's something wrong with the deck, but again. So the code vulnerabilities, right? This is again a very established mechanism on SecOps world. Have your code scanned by these publicly available code vulnerabilities, or your enterprise subscriptions of it, to see what are the hidden backdoors are there in the code, right? What are the things that could go wrong from this piece of code if I put it into production, right? And then try to mitigate it from there. This is not working. And so same thing, right? And this is an example from older version of TensorFlow, where a piece of code was packaged into a model, and which was undetected by a lot of these security vulnerability tools, because it was an H5 file, right? It was the tool was also thinking of it as, okay, this is a model, I don't need to explore this, I don't need to see what the contents are of this file. Not working again. Okay. We all have done this, right? We all have, or rather that's the way of working, right? We install public packages from the internet, pip install scikit-learn, pip install TensorFlow, pip install NumPy, right? And we might have looked at, okay, what are the dependencies of NumPy or if scikit-learn are, right? What are the packages they install? But we don't look at the downstream of it, right? What are the things that can be buried on this whole pipeline, and think of it as that an attacker can actually go to that public repo, add their malicious piece of code as an dependency. You fine day, you woke up from sleep, you got a new project to work on, open your machine, do that pip install TensorFlow, right? And with the chain of dependency, that piece of malicious code is also installed in a machine. Because you did not look at what the dependent on, what is that package dependent on, right? You did not look at the chain. So maybe it could look fine at the level 1, level 2, but things could go wrong at a very later stage of these dependencies installed, right? And and this is not. This is not working again. Just install things, you are actually installing malicious piece of code as part of it. What you can do right here, right? And then only uses these containers on your day-to-day work, right? So that you feel secure about the packages that you are using, right? And at the same time, right, you have control over what is being installed there, what is running there, right? So that you can actually feel more confident that there's no malicious piece of code in the whole library or the package that I have created. In exact versions dependencies, right? We all have written requirement.txt file, right, to install various things. But there we write, okay, in my I need scikit-learn. We don't write scikit-learn which exact version that I need. So always pin exact versions that you need, right? There could be that a later version is malicious or a previous version is malicious, right? Let's say if I add a new thing into the whole pipeline, there could be a new version update to that, right? So always have the exact version that you need for your code to run, so that you can control what is getting installed. You can control what is getting installed. Examine these dependencies and track security challenges in them, right? And I'll show you how you can do that, how you can examine these your required TXT for these vulnerabilities, and how you can track those vulnerabilities from there. And the last is track your dependencies for always, right? If they're getting duplicated, if there's an update which needs up, and only then go ahead and start working on it. There are these tools you can use to do that. There's this piprot. By the name, it gives you a report saying how many of your packages are outdated and by how many days. Now you don't need a specialized tool for it. You just run piprot requirement.txt that you had already created for a project, and based on that you can take action, right? How these packages need upgrade from my system. The second is the safety check. How many of you, if you just upgrade, in this case, you are taken care of from the vulnerability, right? Same, you can run this container scans, right? So there's this tool Trivi, and you can run this container scan, and that will give you what are the things that could go wrong, what are the vulnerabilities which are there in this container that you are using. And once you have this report, start working on to solving it. Last, I think a lot of us discussed, right? We need to secure our data. So always have this security consideration. Encrypt your data at rest at transit, even if it is in DB on your cloud instance, secure that, right? Encrypt the data. If it is transiting, let's say you are reading the data from your bucket to your model, which is there in a different instance, encrypt the whole cycle of that, right? It could be, there could be a man in the middle attack who can just steal the data from you. Authentication and authorization is very important to identify who is using it, why using it, and if they are authorized to use these things, right? And at last, right, infrastructure security is, we had been doing it right, so let's get continued to it, right? So with that, this is the last slide that I had, and what I feel is security should be a continuous part of the whole journey, right from when we think about. So keep a track of these things whenever you build machine learning models, when you think about deploying things, and try to solve it from day one. That's all. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah.
Sir, currently I am pursuing BTech in AI.
Okay.
So as an AI student, I have to learn a lot of machine learning. So based on the current technology, what can you say about the future of AI? Means in which direction can we go? Because we have seen in the movies, or they have shown a lot of technologies and AI being capturing humans. So what do you think about that?
I think the advances will be there, but be true to basics, right? Everything that is built on the new things that you see, the advancement you see, has some basic things which actually build those things, right? So be true to your basic understanding of the things, build your own understanding. Nobody cares if you remember the exact definition, exact derivation of the things, right? If you understand what is something, let's say I ask you what is SVM, right? And you give me a bookish definition, but you don't know how it actually works, then it's not helpful, right? So try to build your own understanding of the things. And what it will enable you is to do two things. One is quickly identify a solution. Like every problem that we see can be solved 10 ways, right? Can be solved in 100 of the ways, right? But in an ideal situation, you don't have that much time to try all of the 10 ways to solve that problem, right? What you can do with this intuition that you have built, right, your own understanding, to pinpoint, okay, out of these 10 things, these 3 things that I see are easy. So you can focus your whole energy in doing those 3 things versus, wasting your energy in trying everything and then trying to find a solution, right? And that will help you to, solve problem faster, try to find a real solution to the problem, then actually do many things and not reach your goal, right? And it will also enable you to, now that you have a good understanding of the things, you can actually build on top of that, right? Which is where the innovation comes in, which is where the advancement comes in, right? If you have a good understanding of things, you can actually then, anything that new comes in, you'll be, okay, this is based on this. This is an advancement of this algorithm or this paper that I have read, right? So focus on your true self, focus on your understanding of the things. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm working on machine learning model, that is object detection using machine learning and yellow algorithm, deep sort.
Okay.
So actually, I've developed my half of the model using machine learning, all the libraries called TensorFlow and all. So do I need to update all those libraries in terms of security of that libraries every time?
Sorry?
Do I need to update all my libraries of machine learning like TensorFlow, scikit-learn, NumPy and all that, pandas?
No, right? That's what I meant to say, right? Only upgrade when you need, right? Always see which package for that project, your need for that use case, right? And use it consistently till the time you actually feel that, okay, I need an upgrade, right? Let's say we all were using TensorFlow 1.x for all of our projects, right? But we didn't need it to upgrade it to 2 till the time we needed those advanced features, those advanced layers to build our models, right? So don't think that only having the most updated package will solve me, help me solve my problem or help me build a very advanced model that solves all of the use cases that I have, right? Think of it as, what do I need and does what I have solves my use case? And if both are yes, there's no need of upgrading.
Yes, sir. Sir, one more question I was facing.
1 second. Yeah.
So one more question. I was facing many of the issues while opening Jupyter Notebook using Windows Explorer. I need to that type Python M3 and then Notebook, and it is coming. So it is not directly showing the Jupyter Notebook, right? Direct typing that Jupyter Notebook. So why this issues coming? I don't know.
There can be issues with how we've installed them. It's not the correct path, or there could be config changes to that. Maybe you could look at it later and see what's wrong. Anything else? Yeah.
So what kind of test can we perform using envelopes?
What kind of
testing can we do from the envelopes?
You can do a lot, right? Right from data quality. Let's say you are reading the data from the source to your storage or the place where you are training the models, right? You could have data quality checks in there to see if the data which was there on my original source versus this is consistent, right? There could be data quality checks around the distribution of the data, right? If the relational data, relationship between the data is preserved while this transfer, right? If I have, or a basic check could be how many number of columns which are there, did I get exact number of columns, exact number of rows here, right? To actually testing your models, right? You could scale your let's say scale up your training to find out the right model on your whole environment or your whole piece of code. You could run multiple experiments on the parallel to see, okay, this is the best model I can achieve. To later do a testing on the model itself on a very large scale manner to see if the model performs given a large chunk of data, if there's any performance degradation that is happening, if is there any data degradation that is happening, to actually later testing it for endpoints, right? If my endpoints can scale up, if I have a very large traffic, right? So you can do all of these.
Thank you.
Yeah, this was just last announcement that I had was everyone has know about Google Cloud Next. So this is our annual flagship event which used to happen in US. But this year this is coming to India, Bangalore on October 12th and 13th. Go and register for it. You will be able to attend live developer keynotes of all the new releases that are coming to Google Cloud this year. So go ahead and register for it. Thank you. You had a question? Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Joinal, for your intriguing session. So moving on. How many of you have participated in the ICPC World Championship? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. Anyone? No one? All right. Would you believe that if we have ICPC World Champion here to share the experience here? Yeah, you heard it right. So are you ready to hear it from the World Championship winner? Give it up for Sergey Orsansky.
My name is Sergey Orshansky. I live in the United States. I have a PhD in math. Long ago, I participated in ACM, ICPC, International Collegiate Programming Contest. In 2004, my team won the World Champions title in first place in Prague, and in 2005, we got the absolute third place in Shanghai. I also judged a number of Russian competitions and helped organize them mostly back in the day around 2003, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. And I can answer, at least from my experience from back then. Obviously, there is some foundation that is required because all the people who were competing at a high level, they have all been doing math puzzles and programming since relatively young age. It doesn't mean you cannot start later, but ICPC is limited by time. So if you only started programming last year, it will be very hard for you to learn quickly, of course, just like with any skill. And the second part that we had an organized training system, whereas 2 times every week at least we had a training session for 5 hours. It doesn't seem a lot. I'm sure some people train more, but still we had an organized setup where at least twice a week, most part of the year, we had a formal training session. We sit down, we take the problems and we solve them. And of course, we solve problems in spare time also. So just like with any skill, systematic practice obviously helps. So those are the 2 most obvious things. And aside from that, it's very hard to answer. So when I was in high school, I participated in some programming competitions, and I did not really prepare, which probably means I had a good foundation otherwise, that I did not need to prepare so much. I could still get some results just naturally, right? So, for example, I got absolute first place in my city, right, in St. Petersburg, which was a 5 million city. So I got absolute first place there. However, on the national competition, I only got, I think, 18th place. So, meaning at some point you still need preparation. Raw talent can only take you so far. And then when I joined university, the ITMO University, at first I kept practicing with the same team, but my 2 other teammates, they were weaker and also not so committed to it. So we still kept getting some results, but limited. We still managed to win the city. When I was on my first year in the university, we still won the city competition, but on the regional contest, we on the semi-final we got very bad place. I was number 28. So my coach, the very famous coach, Andrew Stankiewicz, he told me that he wanted me to practice with a strong team, with Divan Pavlov and Pavel Mavrin, who had already been to the IOI, to the international high school competition for programming. So he wanted me to practice with them. And I didn't like this idea because I like practicing with my friends. It was more fun. And here are some people who are strangers and maybe they got better than me. They used to be on my level, but they went through all this preparation before the IOI. So they were better than me, so I didn't like it a lot, and we did not get along. But the coach kind of pushed us to keep practicing together. So we kept practicing together, and we were very strong, not because we were a good team, but because each of us was good. And on the city contest quarterfinal, we again got the first place. And our leaders were very worried that if we go to World Finals, it will be too early, so that we will lose our chances too early. So they were kind of trying to adjust to maybe let go this year and try next time, which, we didn't really like this idea. But either way, we did not do well on the regional contest because of anxiety. I think there was too much pressure, and ironically, we again got the same 28th place, just like I got myself in my big team a year before. So there were many jokes about that, number 28. And then we just kept practicing, and then the following year we won the what are final the region to understand the world finals. It's hard to say why we won the world finals, but it definitely helped that there were geometry problems, and Dmitry Pavlov, another teammate, he used to practice some techniques that we learned during summer training camp, and he really drilled those techniques, like how you efficiently intersect two circles or a circle with a line. He really memorized those formulas by heart. And I hate to say it because that's not the only thing that matters. But in that case, it was really helpful. He really knew by heart how to do it. And then some of the ideas on the World Finals were familiar to us. So we got ahead, I guess, because of geometry points, that idea. And right. And I don't know what else to say. And the year after that, we got the third place. We really were supposed to win it, but we didn't. Again, largely because of anxiety, because sometimes you get too anxious and then you start wasting time during the competition, because you cannot organize your head and decide what to do. So I guess that's just experience. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. So because I ended up doing more work as a data scientist than as a developer, I probably used the others because data science has a greater overlap with data structures. Many of the ideas are the same. So I also understand there is a pragmatic approach where you learn some data structures just to understand performance a little better, just so you get some intuition, and then you can move on and learn some other things and become more well-rounded developer if you think that's what you're going to do. Well, I think most everyone admires those who do something for humanity. For example, if you heard of Albert Schweitzer, he is very much admired in the West. He lived more than a century ago, and he was a very successful musician in Europe, extremely famous. And then, after he achieved success, he became a doctor. He studied medicine, and then he went to Africa and opened a hospital there, and dedicated the rest of his life to being a doctor and serving people. And many who met him in his hospital in Africa commented how inspired they were by his great personality. So I think this kind of people is very easy to admire. There are only a few main ideas that keep getting repeated over and over the centuries. One is a goal, and if you keep working on this goal, then you will make progress. And you can try writing your goals down. I did find it helpful, very much so. Idea is to learn from the others. Of course, you are maybe listening to me, that also counts. But if you can have a mentor that you work with long term, that can be very beneficial. I personally work with several mentors, and I continue working, and I keep doing it. And they found it extremely helpful, at least for me, because with a good teacher, when you work with someone every week, they can teach you things you can never imagine yourself. So I would say if you have extra money, I would encourage you to find a mentor and work with one. And generally you have to do it for money, in my experience, because if you want to get real, if you want to really learn, because you can have a mentor that you ask for advice once a few months, but if you really want someone to give you attention and push you and help you learn, you have to pay them. And it has to be someone who knows how to teach people. So I am very much advocating paying for mentorship, paying for knowledge, and paying people who help you get better. That has worked very well. I have a lot of interest in the arts. In particular, I'm quite, I actually did a lot of yoga. It may be funny to know. I was even certified as a yoga teacher. I did a lot of dance, different styles of dance, from classical dance to swing and everything tango. And I performed quite a bit. I do not do it on the same level of as programming, but it's been interesting for me to see how good you can get when you start from a lower level. So I guess that is the answer.
So, can you believe the GDG Cloud Nagpur team just interacted with the ICPC World Championship winner of 2004? So, ICPC is all about competitive programming. How many of you have heard of competitive programming? Quite a few, right? DSA and all. How many of you are from computer science background? Oh, that is a huge number, so you all might be knowing about ICPC. So it's all about competitive programming, and the GDG Cloud Nagpur team just interacted with him for you all.
Alright, so the best of India in ranked 2012. Yeah, but I know for sure from you all guys there will be one champion for ICPC. Aham Brahmasmi. So moving on to the next session. Now we are having our next speaker, Nirdesh Chahal. He is a Google Cloud BU lead from Persistent Systems Limited. Please give a round of applause for him.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
you GDG community for inviting me for this session. I think this is the second time I am in Nagpur and I'm loving it, weather and a full house and talking about technology. The last GDG I attended was I think in 2017, somewhere in Delhi NCR. And then there was one which happened online in 2020. So glad to be here once again. My name is Nirdesh Chahal. I lead the Google business unit inside Persistent for international markets, which is all regions except for North America. So it is a big region. I'm not a technologist anymore. I started as a technologist in mainframes AS100 around 22 years back, a long time. So I can't call myself a subject matter expert, can't deliver a session like John Neal did, and can't take you through code snippets because I have moved on from technology to business development, to sales, entrepreneurship, and a lot. But from the sessions like these, I also pick a lot of jargon which I can use in my next meeting and claim that I know something. Just want to understand the audience a bit better. How many of you are certified engineers, Google certified? Okay, how many of you have attempted certifications? How many want to be in data engineering and analytics? Oh, a lot of hands. Cloud and infrastructure? Again, some people are raising hands for both. You can't be a generic cloud professional. How many of you are programmers? Android, Python, all of you. How many of you have worked on Google Maps as a platform? Okay, a few hands there too. So I'll give you some bit of a background before going into this presentation. It is a 10,000 feet view of what Google is trying to solve for the organizations, customers, businesses, and industries. And this is more of a sales presentation. It has come out of Google's table. I have just given it some coloring of my own. Apart from that, it's none of my doing. So I heard, no, I'm not a geek, okay? So when we, people like us, 20, 25 years in the industry, when we started our career in technology, and it happened by chance because our parents wanted us to be either doctors or engineers because that is where the money was, it still is. So it didn't happen by choice. And IT was a cost center, right? We were always sitting in the background, doing something, working on projects day in and day out. We didn't have the luxury of work from home. Even didn't have the internet bandwidth, even the laptops and desktops at home. Some had the money to afford it, some didn't, I didn't. So in those days, mostly we were sitting in the office working on some systems, and believe me, many systems which we developed didn't see the light of the day because the business priorities changed. So those were the tough days of technology. Congratulations to all of you who are living in this age when technology is no more a cost center, it has become a profit center. All the innovation, all the business problems which you are trying to solve for the organizations where you are working in or aspire to work in, and the people in this group who want to be entrepreneurs, I believe all of you want to do that someday or the other. All of you who want to be entrepreneurs, want to do something, create a platform, whether it is a B2B or B2C, this is the age to be in where you have everything at your disposal. You can conduct sessions like these, networking sessions. There can be people around, there can be people from Google who can guide you. You can mingle with people who have done that before, and create communities. You can even create startups while not having an office, and find like-minded people in this group. So if you go out and you have found 5-6 people in the group who can create a startup, have a business idea, why not? I want the session to be interactive, but always be wary of salespeople who say that I want to deliver an interactive session. So I'll start by saying it will be an interactive session. I know there are volunteers who can give mics all across, but it will turn into a monologue because sales wala kya hai jo bole na, right? We don't allow others to speak. We have to speak at the top of our voice. And maybe I can even speak without the mic and still be audible at the end after 15 minutes. But I'll take some questions at the end. So the agenda of my session is how Google is trying to reinvent the future. All of you are Google Cloud enthusiasts, so most of it would already be known to you, but we'll go into some stats and what I have seen at the meetings, in customer boardrooms, partnering with Google in various sessions, attending events like Google Cloud Next, Accelerate and all, hearing right from people who create those products and solutions at Google, and also our own point of view, right? We try to take these solutions to the market, what sort of objections we see. What do we see in people like all of you, the developer community? Like, what should you strive for? What should you try to create? What should be the mindset, the focus, creativity, innovation, organization? And as I said, it is a high-level view. So companies today, when I say companies, businesses of any magnitude, large conglomerates, small startups, they want to accelerate growth and they are looking for partners. Now those partners can be freelancers, they can be developers, they can be companies like us who help them solve the real world problems, help them connect with the customer better through a better customer design. Many of you asked questions around machine learning, create models which help gain more customers for the business, help those organizations where you are working or where you will work to gain more customer share, more market share. So at the heart of it, there are 3 pillars: innovation, consumer, and industry. Innovation world, you can't survive without innovation. Gone are the days, as I'm saying, I'm an old guy, 20 years in the industry. There were days when we used to see that things change, but the things used to change over a span of 5 years. Nowadays, you get up in the morning and you see that a new widget or a new ML application or ML use case has been solved by Google, Apple, Facebook on your laptops or on your mobile phones. So I'll take an example. There was a day when I found out that, and that was by chance, I found out that I can write the whole email in speech to text by saying, hi, so-and-so. It picks the name correctly from my address book, comma, next line. I read that email into the phone. Then I say next line, regards, comma, write my name, and it goes. How many of you have tried it? Great. Are you so busy that you don't write emails and speak into the phone? Good, it's good to be busy. So this is innovation, an example of innovation. Consumer, all of us want to reach out to our consumers, whether we are entrepreneurs, whether we are business leaders, whether we are hyperscalers like Google's of the world. We want to reach the customers, the consumers. And consumer is the heart of everything. Consumers' behavior keep on changing so fast that your innovation has to match that speed. So that is the real challenge which technologists have to solve for. Industry. Cloud and solutions like cloud are generally horizontal solutions, and hyperscalers, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, hyperscalers look at the community, the developers, the technology organizations, the service GSIs to create some industry solution out of it so that it can have a vertical focus. So you will always have to look at those horizontal tools at your disposal and try to create a digital banking solution, for example, or a healthcare product, or something which is not solved before, right? So there is this quote which says either do it first or do it different. So just believe in that. You have to either do it first or do it different. How many of you know which was the most recent unicorn in India? Good, physics wala. What do they do? How did it start? Was it a tech platform or was it something else? Okay, many voices at the same time, but I can make out. Do you see any unicorn which is not making use of technology and is still striving? You can start by chance, you can create something which becomes a business model, you can get your consumers, but if you have to scale, the heart and soul of it has to be technology. But there can be exceptions. Any company which doesn't has a technology arm, or you see that it doesn't has technology as its bedrock and is still a $1 billion company. I'm not talking about services space. Of course, they are all in technology. They are trying to solve problems for their customers. Okay, so fine. McDonald's, any other? Supermarkets. So McDonald's also, so the franchisee is called Hardcastle, at least at the place from where I come from in North India, I believe. I have interacted with them. There's a technology solution in the back end which takes care of the supply chain, the raw material which goes in and out, how much has to be supplied to each outlet, what should be the number of people serving in a particular outlet at peak time and off peak times. So that is all driven through technology. Supermarkets. The supermarkets which are not using route optimization, field force optimization sort of solutions, of course those are more map centric, or who do not have a digital way of managing their inventory, are becoming obsolete. So there are supermarkets which are going digital, there are supermarkets which you might not see have digital footprints, but there is technology always at the back end. So the essence is that you will see technology everywhere, and this is the age to live in for a technologist. How many of you know what is VMware? Oh, I'm asking so simple questions that there is so many hands. I just can't ask anyone to give a mic and answer. So please feel free. What is a VMware? Virtual machine. Who has worked on VMware? Oh, there are a couple of hands. So there was a VMware era, virtual machine era, which started from, the business problem was that you want to keep your capex, opex, etc. into control. I'll not go into business jargon, and just want to utilize the hardware which you actually utilized and not buy and then provision only some of it. That was the advent of cloud, I would say. It started that way. and then it moved to infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure, platform, functions, what else? Software as a service. What else? Database as a service. Platform as a service. So then we move to this era, and now the era is the transformation cloud era. Anyone has heard it before, because these are right picked from Google slides. What is transformation cloud era? No? Okay, so we'll go into it. So transformation cloud era is the next wave of cloud, and it focuses on not doing a lift and shift, moving from your on-premise to the cloud, and then only designing for what needs to change from moving from an on-prem to cloud, or let's say from something else to Google Cloud, but the modernization which should go into it, or the cloud native app development which you have to do. So this is the transformation cloud era. Of course, everything nowadays you hear the jargon is accentuated or accelerated by COVID, but it was bound to happen. What do we see customers asking us? And tomorrow, like how many of you are working? A few. How many are in the last year of your BTech or? Okay. So this is what we get to see or get to hear from customers. And this is the transformation era. Are we best at understanding and using our data? You might have heard all these jargons, acronyms, anecdotes, data is the new oil, etc., etc. Do we have the best technology infrastructure? Of course. Are we creating the best hybrid workspace? This, I believe, has been accelerated by COVID. And do we know that everything we do is secure? Just as you saw in the last session, security is of paramount interest, because if you lose data, your reputation, which has been built over years of hard work, will just go in thin air in a flash of a second. And are we addressing the most important challenges facing the world? You saw the video from with the ICPC winner. He said, what we should do is to do something good for humanity. I would say take it to another notch, another level, and do something for sustainability. Not only humanity, but for all the other beings, for the planet as a whole. So this is how Google positions itself in the transformation cloud, and it calls it the transformation cloud. Data cloud, which is the way for you to become smarter. Open infrastructure cloud. Google, by the way, is the most open cloud which allows you to bring your own technology stack, and it supports maximum technologies. You bring your own technologies and you can still work on it. I'll not name any competitors, but I think you all are developers, so you can flash it through your mind, and you know that there are many other clouds which allow you to work on only a few technologies and not all. So you can actually be a full stack developer and still work on Google Cloud. Collaboration cloud. Who has heard of collaboration cloud? No. Gmail is a part of collaboration cloud. It is called Google Workspace now. But if you are using Gmail, of course, all of us use Gmail in our personal day-to-day life. But there is also a business version of Gmail, which is Google Workspace. And it has a lot of collaboration features. In fact, there are many such features, as I spoke about the email, that I can open Drive on my phone, look at a document, see a comment which has come in, and I can review that comment right away without opening my laptop. So while on the move, you can do a lot of reviews, work online, work offline as well, and still be productive in a collaborative environment. And the trusted cloud, which is, of course, as the name goes, security. The last bit is sustainability, which is at the end. And Google has always been in news around sustainability. The thing which I have added to this slide is just given the green color to sustainability. Now, who were the data enthusiasts? So, some questions coming your way. These are industry stats. You can easily find them. This talks about 2020. 2021. This was a forecast done by IDC that 500 billion will be the size of data and AI market in 2024. So, if you are data enthusiast, I think this is the market to be in, and there will be a lot of jobs, a lot of opportunities to either create your startups, solve problems, or work on some very fascinating solutions. Yet, only 24% of companies are able to realize the tangible and measurable value of data. So the rest 76% are waiting for you to create such smarter solutions. Why customers choose Google Data Cloud? By the way, who do you think is the biggest data company in the world? There are multiple answers. How many companies can boast of products and applications which have 1 billion plus users? Do you know how many solutions Google has given to the world, which we are using daily, which have 1 billion plus users? Let's name a few. Gmail, Photos, YouTube, Maps, Drive, probably not. Search, YouTube. Someone said weather forecast. Android? No. So you named 7, there is one more. So, but keep it as something to search for later on Google search. So Google was the company that brought about BigQuery, and Google has been an innovator, be it the Kubernetes engine, which it later on gave to the open source world. So BigQuery is an environment which allows you, whether you are on other clouds or somewhere else, to process your data, run your models, do data crunching, and then move it back. So that is the openness. Speed, scale, security, AWS, Google, someone said Vertex AI at the start of the session, Vision API, etc., etc. If you implement some of these things, do you believe you have created a mathematical model? Any answers? No answers. Okay. So there are two things, right? One is creating something and second is training it. I personally believe, I may be wrong, that when you are doing AI, ML, or you say that you are an AI, ML company, or you are solving an AI, ML problem, the mathematical model has to come from you. If someone uses a mathematical model or algorithms which have been created by someone else, others are also at the same liberty to use those. But what changes when you come to Google Cloud is that you can train those models pretty faster. You're working with a company which lives, breathes on a lot of user data and has the data crunching abilities others can only, think of, no matter what they say in their presentations. Industry leading AI and machine learning algorithms, Vertex AI, someone said, yes, it requires 80% less code to train a model. And open source multi-cloud partner ecosystem. Again, Google has been the pioneer in always, proposing or professing that the open model is going to work, and it also brought in Anthos, where the hybrid cloud can survive, that you can have multiple clouds and still work. Technology infrastructure. Again, billion-dollar opportunities, multi-billion, I would say. 90% people are still on-prem. So these are the probably the numbers you have already seen, and that is why you are cloud enthusiasts. But in a market like India, and I operate in the Indian market a lot, what do you think people, or why do you think people generally want to move to the cloud? Why do big companies want to move to the cloud? You might be reading a lot of reports or news or advents in the cloud technology, or which cloud, why cloud. Do you know why companies want to move to the cloud? Scalability. Economics. Less infrastructure to manage. Great. All these are good answers, but in business sense, everything steps from optimization. As I said, CapEx, OpEx sort of models. Many of you are BTech students. I believe that there is still an elective accounting subject. So you do understand that technology, you only provision for what you actually want to use. And Google Cloud is more cost effective than others because of the way it has been designed from ground up. We'll not go into the details of that, but yes, the economics is and believe it, not only in India, but also in other countries, economics, cost optimization is the decision, which is the first boardroom interest evoking thing which happens before people want to look at the cloud, and then the Google Cloud. Planet scale platform that is performant, secure and reliable. Again, you might have known it before looking at this presentation. And hybrid cloud I already spoke about. How many of you know what Anthos is? Just spoke about hybrid cloud. What is Anthos? No answers? Okay, we'll take it up at the end. So, hybrid workplace. Have you heard of this term before, or this is the first time you're looking at this term, hybrid workplace? And why is it important? A very good answer. Anyone else? Sorry? Workspace. Can you elaborate?
There are a lot of people in one company, then we can do it 50-50.
Okay. Yes, distributed teams who are not in the same location. How many of you have seen VWorks, CoWorks and all these companies coming up? What do? They provide you a workplace where different companies can sit irrespective of their size. Again, this is some sort of, I would not say it as cloud, but it is some sort of optimizing the workplace so that you get to buy only those number of seats which you have. Tomorrow, if you create a company, a startup with 8 people, you will only go for an 8-seater, and that 8-seater might not always be available, right? So that 8-seater you can lease out at a WeWork, CoWork or Office, AWFIS sort of places. Hybrid workplace has been in vogue since the days of COVID. Even prior to that, there were many companies where people right? Small city, I would not say that small, but still it is a small city. Generally, when you think about technology, which city come to your mind first in India? Bangalore. Second? Hyderabad. How many of you want to go and work in Bangalore and Hyderabad? Okay. So, since many of you have not yet started your career, I would say working at a place is good, but when you get into situations like COVID or when you're working day in and day out, you also feel homesick. There was some talk about homesick at the start of the session. When you feel homesick, you want to come back home. Nowadays, because of hybrid workplace, people can work from wherever they are. They have their devices. There is security enabled on those devices through VDIs and other platforms. And you can work from the luxury of your home. I would not say this is the most optimal model, but if it allows the the whole organization to still operate at the level of efficiency it was, even after things like COVID, etc. happen, I think this is really remarkable. Hybrid workplace, 48% of employees will work remotely post-COVID. Believe me, I'm running a large team. I think 90% of people want to work from home. It takes a lot of poking and pushing to ask them to come, even the salespeople to come and go for customer meetings. Then there will be people who will say that I will have to drive all the way from, let's say, Dehradun, say Delhi, and then there are flights from Delhi to Bangalore and so on and so forth. So it's better to do that meeting from home. And people in sales, like us, understand that you only get sales closures when you are sitting face to face with a customer. So everything is changing. And for developers, if you can work from the luxury of your home, still can do continuous distributed deployment, and there are people you do not rely upon for access, for authorization, for installing softwares. Of course, still there are some controlled systems. They have to be in place for security because not everyone can be a security expert. But it has given you the liberty to work from home and still be with the family, at least in some way. So I believe Google has now started work from office, but I visit a lot of Google offices here as well as other places. And I have seen that people are there also following a hybrid approach where they work 2 times a day at Google office. And believe me, these are swanky offices. You're sitting there, right? You get the best of foods. I have heard from my Google friends, even us who frequent those offices, that you gain 10 kgs in the first 1 month of joining a company like Google. No matter how much they put there that this calorie, this food has this much calorie, etc. Who sees calories, right? Who sees calories on top of your chips packets or cold drink or whatever? I'll not talk about other things, right? So it's hard to get people back in the office, and you have to take office to the people's place, and that is where many of you people know about already. Google Workspace comes in, where you can use your drive, documents, collaborate with the rest of the folks in real time and be much more efficient. I would believe if you are not customer facing and you are building something, you without distractions, you can be much more efficient than driving to office in a mad rush in 45 minutes or 1 hour of, depending upon where you stay, how far you stay from your traditional offices, and also deciding what would I wear for office today. There are people who wear shorts and blazers on the top and they put video on and run meetings, right? You might have you might have seen an ad where there is a kid which comes in and say, no, dad was taking a shower. Like, he was not actually in a different meeting. So unless you put some controls in place, you will not be able to figure out whether that's the truth or not. But this is happening, right? This is the future of work. So enabling the future of work with updated security. And security. So I spoke about 2 solutions, cloud and collaboration. Infrastructure and collaborative cloud, which were $500 billion markets, huge markets. But look at security, it is many X times that. So this is where the first question I asked, how many of you are security enthusiasts? This is where probably you should try to build your career, because this is something which is coming up. Security is of paramount interest everywhere. You are moving to the cloud, your data, your personal stuff is everywhere on the social media, and there are companies who are waiting to pounce on it and make good use of it. Good use in their terms, bad use for you all and for organizations where you would work. So this probably is a career you should feel or you should pursue. And if you are not reading too much about security, of course there have been lot many incidents in past few days, months, years. Go through them and you will understand that there is a career option which or a sub-segment of the career in cloud world, which is actually a boardroom directive. So when I say, so CISO is the central person, Chief Information Security Officer, who only thinks and cares about security. And we spoke about economics, right? Most of the cloud discussions and decisions are driven by economics. But the decisions around security are boardroom discussions. We get into one meeting, we tell, it's very easy to scare people, right? If you see on social media that a pit bull bites someone, the next moment you will start searching for a pit bull near you. And the people who have pit bulls would try to, put them in the leash, and then poor animals would be somewhere in the balcony and not allowed to venture freely as they used to be. So security is something which gives you clear win, and this is an area where entrepreneurs in you or developers in you should try to build your career. Again, I'll not go into it. I'm not sure how much time do I have, but I'll talk about sustainability now. So I was one of the keynote speakers at a CIO event which happened in Goa. And it also happened on a Sunday. So it's quite overwhelming, right? When you are giving keynote sessions in places like Nagpur or places like Goa and you are talking to people. Unfortunately, that day my session was after lunch. So it's very hard to keep people, and that too CIOs, awake after lunch. This time I'm more fortunate, thanks to Vedant and the rest of the team, that just prior to lunch, I still see a few people yawning. I hope they could get 5% of what I said. But believe me, sustainability is something which we are hearing in the Western world more, and it is quickly coming to India. So when you talk about sustainability, it is green energy, wind, solar, improving your supply chains. How do you, and you talk to various prospects and customers and you find out there are companies in power sector who want to build a new transmission line, but they want to see how many trees they've cut along that. And it's not a directive which is coming from government. They are themselves so much aware that they don't want to do harm to the environment, and they want to build it in such a way that the least number of trees are cut. So those are the solutions which all of you aspiring entrepreneurs, technologists should think about. Do you know about the population density paradox? It also came up during COVID. Anyone has heard about it? Population density paradox. No? That COVID will spread faster. It is easier than what the jargon sounds. The COVID will spread faster if there are more people in that per square kilometer. Of course, it's not rocket science. Everyone can understand that. But do you know which country has the most arable land in the world? The land which can be cultivated for crops. India. Someone said India. But India is only the 7th largest country, and there are countries which are 3 times as big as India. China, Canada, even US. Anyone else?
Russia.
Why do you think it is Russia? Because I'll not make any political statement. Why do you think it is Russia? Vast land. So India is the right answer. It has been always the pillar of growth, and still most of us, many of us have moved from towns to cities or from villages to cities, and we are taking the country on the economic prosperity ahead. But still, I don't know the number, but I think the arable land in India is around 57% of the total land. And the second is US in the list, which has 16%. Though US is 3 times bigger than India, so 16 into 3 is 48. But still it is lesser. In India, it is around 1.6 or 1.7 million square kilometers. There are many companies which are coming up, which are solving the problems of deficient rains or excessive rains. All of us are seeing these days, damage to crops, etc., etc. And there are many solutions which are being created by the startups, fintech. In this case, because I am talking about this case, there are companies which are working on agri-tech. So this a new term has coined up, where they do some soil sampling, do some surveys, find out how much water, sunlight, fertilizer, etc. is required, and then also analyze that data along with the weather data to find out what can be the damage to the crop if something unforeseen happens. So those sort of new ideas are coming up and will shape the future of this country as well as other countries. So sustainability will soon be the only thing which will get you a lot of money. If you want to be a unicorn, if there are already groups in this forum, in the audience, who want to build the next unicorn, these are some of the ideas which we are seeing, and these are some of the ideas which haven't been solved for. Again, I'll go back to that same thing, हमारे ज़माने में वाला जो होता है, like whenever you see someone who says I am 20-year-old or 25-year-old in the industry, always be skeptical that these things will come to you, right? As your parents generally do. हमारे ज़माने में ये होता था. In our heydays, this used to be so, which doesn't mean that it was always right or better, right? You know that. Again, I'll not make a political statement that generally it is not better. Things are improving. The time it took for technology to come this much ahead and allow us to work from home, work from anywhere, solve problems, build unicorns, will probably be 5x faster. So you will face disruptions day in and day out. You will have to reinvent, you will have to start thinking, and hard work will not be able to solve the problem alone. You need to have that IQ, you need to have that outlook, you need to look at a lot of things which are happening around so that you can answer most of the questions I asked, right? There were many questions where people answered, there were many questions where there were no hands raised. So all of these are available somewhere or the other in the news, and you should be open for it and be willing to learn from there. You never know what idea can strike gold. Right, all of you hear about Flipkarts and Meeshos and Grows of India, and they are unicorn stories, right? I meet such customers, and I'm really enlightened and happy to see that these are people in their 30s. Some are in the early 30s, and they have changed the world. When we started, it was mostly services. We used to deliver services to the customers in the West, and they were doing innovation. They were creating products which could change the lives of the world, of the people, but people who were there. Now we are building something, Make in India initiatives and other plays, which is changing the future of people in this geography. Tomorrow, and of course there are innovations which are happening, but there will be more innovations where you will change the lives of the world, lives of the people not only in India but other places. So start thinking of those ideas. The first thing which I was told while coming to this session, being a salesperson, was that you don't have to promote Persistent. You don't have to tell people that come and join Persistent. So, and I would be more than happy if we meet 5-10 years again and I'm sitting in the audience and someone of you is giving a lecture on how you have solved a real world problem through your own innovation. So rise, create something which is different, which is disruptive, and build something, right? Don't try to serve others, but try to build something which is innovative and which can change the future of the world. Thank you.
Alright, that was indeed a great session, right? So, can we have a round of applause for Mr. Nidesh here? That's good. And thank you for sharing your experience and knowledge with us. So, you also had a reflection about the sustainability, right? So, I have also attended the online summit of it. And Thomas Kurian, the CEO of Google Cloud, he also told that by 2030, it will be like carbon-free energy in the Google Cloud for the whole data centers and all. So yeah, we'll reflect onto it in the next upcoming journey.
Alright, so let's hop on to another set of interactive session. How many of you know about Google Photos? I'm assuming everyone, right? So if yes, I want a bigger yes. Yes. Alright, so Google Photos can easily find pictures of different objects in your photo library using AI, right? And Google has been translating languages, identifying objects. So what do you think can be Google's next step? Any idea? Or just at least give it a thought. For the time being, we'll leave that on time. And to elaborate more about it, we have some crowdsource activities. For that, we have with us Anirudh Khandave. He's an Google crowdsource influencer, as well as a co-organizer of JDG Cloud Nagpur, organizer of TFE, which is TensorFlow user group, and he's also an organizer of Kotlin user group, and currently he's working for the government of India as well as on a startup which is cloud-based and its security. So please help me welcome Mr. Anirudh Khandave for it.
So I will request my team to please come on the stage. Sarang, Tanish, Shivangi, Samiksha, and Chandakji. So basically एग्जैक्ट क्राउडसोर्स क्या है, ये एक पहले वीडियो से शुरू करेंगे.
You've heard of machine learning, but what is it? Machine learning is a technique that allows computers to acquire skills by looking at several examples, instead of through sets of rules. Machine learning makes it easier for you to do things every day, like searching for photos of what you love, speaking to anyone in any language, and getting you exactly where you want to go, anywhere in the world. So how do machines learn? In machine learning, computers find, identify, and learn common patterns through sets of data. For example, showing a computer many images of cars teaches it how to recognize a car in any picture. The more variety of car images we show it, the better it gets at recognition. That's why your contributions to the Crowdsource app are important. They help create and verify accurate examples for computers to learn, which in turn enables features that benefit everyone. When you verify image labels, you help apps like Google Photos and Google Lens get better at classifying photos and identifying objects. When you label the sentiment of sentences, you help Google Maps and Google Play organize reviews in your language. When you verify translations, you help Google Translate make more accurate translations in your language. So your favorite apps get better for everyone, thanks to you. As part of the global crowdsource community, you're joining contributors in your country and throughout the world to contribute millions of examples. Your responses are combined with thousands of other users' answers to determine a best response, which is called ground truth. The ground truth is fed to machine learning models that find patterns to learn specific skills, such as how to identify cars in a photo, or how to translate from one language to another. What a machine learns is limited by the data it's given. If we develop an image recognition algorithm with images from only a small part of the world, it will only recognize objects from that part of the world. In order for apps like Photos to work well for everyone, we must train machines using images from every part of the world. By using Crowdsource, you're representing your region, language, and opinions in training data. Thank you for being a part of the community. You've heard of machine learning, but what is it? Machine learning is a technique that allows computers to...
Alright, so friends, please be seated. We are having lunch after this activity and I need you to coordinate with us, right? Thank you.
So basically वीडियो देख के क्या लगा आप लोगों को? कोई बता सकता है? आप में से कोई भी कि क्या हो सकता है एग्जैक्ट प्रोसेस? या एक बार माइक देखिए.
To basically provide user-centric input to train the machine model well.
Okay, perfect. अच्छा, आप अच्छा या. या सो आप में से कितने लोगों ने गूगल फोटोज यूज किया? गूगल लेंस सब करते हैं? तो आपको पता है वो गूगल के जो फेसेस अलग करना, फूड, ये कैसे काम करता है? कोई बता सकता है?
हमें उसके लिए डेटा सेट काफ़ी ज़्यादा रिक्वायर्ड है एंड हम इतनी फोटोज खींचते हैं, हमारा इतना सारा डेटा गूगल फोटोज में अपलोड हो जाता है कि आप गूगल फोटोज भी फ्री स्टोरेज नहीं बचा. सो आई गेस हमारे पास वी हैविंग क्वाइट अ लॉट ऑफ डेटा सेट, सो अकॉर्डिंगली वो डेटा सेट को कैटेगराइज करके सॉर्ट करके यूज़ कर लेता है. सो अगर दो फोटोज में मेरे डॉग या एनिमल सेम ऑब्जेक्ट को आइडेंटिफाई करता है तो हाँ वो ऑटोमेटिकली एआई, दिस इज हाउ एआई कम्स इनटू वर्क. सो वो इसे बता देता है कि हाँ ये डॉग है, दिस इज हाउ कैट्स, डॉग, फूड, एवरीथिंग, एंड देन दिस has been given a new name. Now faces, फिर हम face के accordingly सबको search करेंगे. The same goes with location. Location तो geotag से use होता है, that's a different thing, but still. So this is a quite starting of the what we call so object detection system is.
Correct. तो ऑटो एमएल में पता है? अभी इतना ये हो गया था, एक बार ऑटो एमएल कितने लोगों को पता है? What is ऑटो एमएल? ऑटो एमएल किसी गए कोई गो थ्रू हुआ? बट पता है? तो और कभी कॉग्निटिव सर्विसेज यूज की है? कॉग्निटिव सर्विसेज लाइक कि गूगल कोई भी एक स्पीच एपीआई यूज कर लिया, स्पीच टू टेक्स्ट, टेक्स्ट टू स्पीच, लैंग्वेजेस का अलग अलग, ट्रांसलेशन के लिए गूगल ट्रांसलेट. ओके, सो ये कहाँ से पूरा डाटा आया? तो बेसिकली उसके पीछे जो है वो क्राउडसोर्स, बेसिकली क्राउडसोर्स ने क्या किया था, उन्होंने एक मॉडल किया जिसमें लोग कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे, ठीक है, एंड देन गूगल ने वो बिल्ड किया. और अभी जितने भी सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन बोलो या फिर जितने भी चीज़ें हैं और अच्छे से एक्यूरेसी से हो, तो उसके लिए क्राउडसोर्स ने बेसिकली कुछ हम बोल सकते हैं कि कुछ टास्क दिए थे, ठीक है. तो जैसे जैसे टास्क हम बताएंगे वैसे वैसे आप रिलेट करके बताना कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट में ये यूज़ हुआ है. तो मैं तनिष को बुलाऊंगा टास्क बताने के लिए.
Okay, so we'll first download this Google Crowdsource application. You can just scan the QR code and download it from Play Store.
सभी इंस्टॉल करो. ये एक्टिविटी करेंगे और ये एक्टिविटी के बाद हम कुछ अनाउंस भी करेंगे. सो दैट थोड़ा सा रखो पेशेंस, जरा बने रहो. कितने लोगों का हो गया डाउनलोड? हो गया. अच्छा, कितने लोग ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्टिंग यूजर है? क्या बात है.
अच्छा, 3 साल पहले कोई था यहाँ पे जिन्होंने सेशन अटेंड किया था और जिनको पता है कि क्या है? अच्छा,
माइक.
कैन यू प्लीज एक्सप्लेन कि आपने क्या क्या एक्सप्लोर किया ऐप में और क्या क्या सर्विसेज है गूगल क्राउडसोर्स की?
Actually, when I have attended in the GDG 2019, there was some sort of task that was given to us. We have asked to upload some of the photos, and according to that, we got some rewards and swags also.
Correct. So
we
have
have
you
to
explored
provide-
any more like in the app after going home from GDG?
Yeah, I've means uploaded a lot of photos, and after the event also, I was a regular contributor in this crowdsource.
Okay, nice.
एक बार सब तालियां बजा देंगे आदेश के लिए. सो बेसिकली ये कोर कम्युनिटी से भी है और अभी जो क्लाउड अपना जो सीसीडी हो रहा है तो उसमें भी वन ऑफ द कोर मेंबर पे से एक है. सो थैंक्स आदर्श.
So what is Google Crowdsource? ये तो आपको अनिरुद्ध ने बता ही दिया कि we will need like for Google Lens or Google Photos, we will always need some data and there will be machine learning at the back end. So यही करता है Google Crowdsource. Google Crowdsource आपका इनपुट लेता है, then आपको बोलता है कि आप उसको लेबल करो. जैसे अगर इमेज वेरिफिकेशन होगा तो आपको इमेज डालने बोलेगा और like if there is a image of cat, it will ask you to just name it as a cat and then it will put that image in their database. So when you go to Google Photos, it will recognize the cat as a cat. It won't recognize it as a dog. Sometimes it happens कि कोई dog है और उसको as a cat कर लिया. So that can be minimized by this. So these are the features of Crowdsource. Right now we are working on translation validations, then handwriting recognition, sentiment evaluation, landmarks and image transcripts. So as I told you, image capture, you can just capture the image, upload it as you do in Google Photos and then label it so that Google will know that like if in future someone captures the same photo, it will be classified as whatever label you give it. Okay, so for handwriting recognition, so COVID में कितने लोगों ने नोट स्कैन किए हैं? Like handwritten note scan कितने लोगों ने किए हैं? Okay, काफी लोगों ने किए हैं. So how does that work? Like Google के पास पहले तो डेटा नहीं होगा और अगर होगा भी सैम्पल डेटा तो भी इतना नहीं होगा कि हर एक की हैंडराइटिंग मैच कर सके या फिर हर एक का फॉन्ट मैच कर सके. सो दिस इज वेयर यू कम इन प्ले एंड you upload your notes or whatever you have in handwritten text and then you tell that this is this line, this is what you have written and Google will capture it. Translation and translation validation. So translation is you will be given some English text or Hindi text and then you will be asked to translate it in your local language. Once you have done it, it will be captured in Google as previous methods, and then when some new user will search for that query in Google search, or he will ask Google search to translate how are you. So that's how your local language will be published there. And same with translation validation. In translation validation, once the user has given translation, the translation validation will work as the validation part. It will go and ask you that if how are you, कैसे हो, आप कैसे हो. So is that correct Hindi for the translation? So that will be asked to you. Landmark identification. So once you go to Agra, Taj Mahal, so how will Google know? Like okay, geotagging तो होता ही है, but हमेशा ताजमहल जैसे ही आता है गूगल फोटोज में, इट विल रिकॉग्नाइज दैट ये ताजमहल है, दिस गाय इज इन आगरा. ओवर टू यू अनिरुद्ध.
सो थैंक यू. सो बेसिकली अब तनिष ने जो बताया, तो आप में से बताओ कि कौन से प्रोडक्ट में क्या क्या यूज हुआ है. इमेज कैप्चर कौन बता सकता है कि इसमें किसमें यूज किया है? और ठीक है, लैंग्वेज ट्रांसलेशन गूगल ट्रांसलेट. उसके बाद हैंडराइटिंग रिकॉग्निशन गूगल लेंस. देन लैंडमार्क मैप्स एज वेल एज फोटोज. आप में से कितने लोग फोटोज में जाओ, वहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा कि ऑटोमेटिकली वो कहाँ पे ताजमहल, और ये ऑटोमेटिक सॉर्ट करके देता है. अब पता चल रहा है क्राउडसोर्स कैसे उनके एल्गोरिदम को और स्ट्रॉन्ग करने में मदद कर रहा है, एज वेल एज नॉट फॉर गूगल. साथ साथ में इन्होंने क्या किया कि बहुत सारी एपीआई जो है वो फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट ओपन करके रखी है और ये डाटाबेस अवेलेबल करके रखा है. तो बेसिकली जितने भी डेवलपमेंट रिलेटेड वर्क है, स्पेशली फॉर मशीन लर्निंग, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, सो यू कैन यूज दैट डाटा सेट. सो बेसिकली ये इम्पैक्ट है. सो गूगल का मिशन है टू ऑर्गेनाइज द वर्ल्ड्स इंफॉर्मेशन एंड मेक यूनिवर्सली एक्सेसिबल एंड यूजफुल. सो बेसिकली क्राउडसोर्स यही कर रहा है. इम्पैक्ट ऑफ गूगल लेंस ऑन यूजर्स. बहुत सारे लोग हैं कि बहुत सारा बुक इंग्लिश में रहता है, पढ़ने की इच्छा होती है मगर नहीं आता है, तो बहुत बार क्या करते हैं गूगल लेंस. अच्छा, आप में से कितने लोगों ने कोई डॉक्यूमेंट को गूगल लेंस से ट्रांसलेट किया है? लाइक इम्पैक्ट टू योर डेली टू डेली लाइफ. अभी आप लोगों ने बताया गूगल फोटोज, गूगल असिस्टेंट, गूगल ट्रांसलेट, गूगल लेंस. अच्छा, एक बीच में गूगल का एक थीम पार्क निकला था, गूगल असिस्टेंट थीम पार्क. कितने लोगों ने देखा था वो? जिसमें बहुत सारे लोग गूगल लेंस लेके जा रहे थे एंड अलग अलग लैंग्वेजेस में लिखा हुआ था. वो सिर्फ कैप्चर करते जा रहे थे, ऑटोमेटिक वो ट्रांसलेट किया जा रहा था. सो बेसिकली यही है कि अगर मैं ब्राइड बोलता हूँ तो क्या होता है कि बहुत लिमिटेड फोटो आते हैं. अब क्राउडसोर्स में क्या हो गया कि उन्होंने भी उसमें बहुत सारी कैटेगरीज दे दी है. तो ब्राइड में ये भी आएगा, ये भी आएगा, ठीक है. उसके बाद यहाँ पे जाओ, पैनकेक, ठीक है, मगर वो मालपुआ नहीं पकड़ पाएगा, ठीक है. तो बेसिकली उन्हें वही किया कि वहाँ पे आपको दिखेगा कि इमेज कैप्चर भी है, इमेज वेरिफिकेशन भी है. तो जैसे आप लोगों ने मालपुआ को मालपुआ का और इसको पैनकेक, अदरवाइज बहुत बार आपने देखा होगा कि मालपुआ को पैनकेक दिखाता था. अब यही दोनों बता सकते हो दो क्या चीज है? रोटी, टॉर्टिला. सो बेसिकली यही है कि अब जैसे जैसे कंट्रीब्यूट करते जाओगे वैसे वैसे, और आपके में भी जो सर्च कर रहे हो वो आपके इसमें भी और अच्छे से ऑप्टिमाइज होते जाएगा. सेम अभी लैंग्वेजेस ट्रांसलेशन, जब आप इंग्लिश में कुछ सर्च करते हो इन्फॉर्मेशन आता है, हिंदी में करते हो थोड़ा सा और आता है, बट व्हाट अबाउट संस्कृत एंड अदर लैंग्वेजेस? आता है? अच्छा, इधर कितने लोगों को मैथिली लैंग्वेज आता है? आता है? क्या बात है? सो बेसिकली ये कुछ अचीवमेंट्स हैं, ठीक है। ये जब जैसे जैसे आप कंट्रीब्यूट करते जाओगे तो आपको ऐसे ऐसे बैजेस मिलते जाएंगे, और बहुत सारे गूगल कितने लोगों को पता है कि क्राउड सोर्स और MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी अब एक साथ हो चुके हैं? MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी कितने लोगों को पता है? MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी इसको पता है क्या है? अच्छा, कितने लोगों को ML और AI में इंटरेस्ट है? तो एक काम करो, गूगल पे एक बार सर्च करो MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी क्या है, और बताओ क्या है। कितने लोगों ने सर्च कर लिया? क्या है, कौन बताएगा? फास्ट, कौन बताएगा? बताओ 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 जल्दी। कितने लोगों ने ML के लिए हाथ खड़े किए थे? कौन बताने का? सो बेसिकली MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी ये है कि आपको यहाँ पे ML रिलेटेड फ्री वर्कशॉप दिए जाएंगे, साथ साथ में आपको ML में एज अ फैसिलिटी, मतलब आप अलग अलग जगह पे जाके गूगल की तरफ से आप लेक्चर्स दे सकते हो मशीन लर्निंग पे। सो बेसिकली क्राउडसोर्स ने किया कि जब आप जैसे कुछ लेवल क्रॉस कर लेते हो तो आपके उनके वर्कशॉप अटेंड करना शुरू हो जाते हो, बाद में आपको MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी के पास भी लेके चलते हैं। सो बेसिकली नागपुर की पहली कम्युनिटी जो थी वो क्राउडसोर्स कम्युनिटी शुरू हुआ था। सो मैं एक बार जो नागपुर के लोकल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स हैं एक बार उनको इंट्रोड्यूस कर देता हूँ। तनिष्क, शिवांगी, रिनेश, सारंग, कुशल। सो बेसिकली नागपुर के जो है ये लोग संभाल रहे। नाउ हम लोग नागपुर की ये जो कम्युनिटीज को और बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। सो आप में से कॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स कितने हैं? अच्छा, आपके कॉलेजेस में क्राउडसोर्स कम्युनिटी है? शुरू करना है? जोर से शुरू करना है? कितने लोग इंटरेस्टेड है? कितने लोगों को कॉलेज का रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनना है इसका? चलो सी, ठीक है। तो बेसिकली 40 कंट्री में फिलहाल क्राउडसोर्स की कम्युनिटी है, उसमें से इंडिया में एक है। अभी जैसे बताया था मैंने MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी। सो बेसिकली क्राउडसोर्स लर्निंग कम्युनिटी शुरू हुआ है, जिसमें आपको अभी जैसे आप में से जो रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बनेंगे उनको फैकल्टी मेंबर्स को ऐड किया जाएगा, और आपके कॉलेजेस के लिए स्पेशली 3 मंथ का लर्निंग प्रोग्राम गूगल की तरफ से दिया जाएगा, और हर 3 महीने बाद जैसे जैसे टॉपिक रहते हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग दिया जाएगा। सो बेसिकली ये कि रजिस्टर करो कम्युनिटी प्रोग्राम के लिए। कंट्रीब्यूट 7, जैसे मैंने बताया था कि अगर आपको MLAI एक्सप्लोर एकेडमी के बेसिक वर्कशॉप लेना होगा तो 7 करना पड़ेगा। अगर आप लेवल 10 करते हो तो गूगल के बहुत सारे कोर्सेस हैं, उसका एक्सेस मिल जाएगा। और अगर लेवल 14 करते हो तो आपको प्रॉपर जो गूगलर है उनसे भी आप डायरेक्ट 1-to-1 सेशन होगा, उनसे भी डायरेक्ट ट्रेनिंग होगा। सो मोर देन दैट। उसके बाद लर्निंग कम्युनिटी का फ़ायदा क्या है? एक तो कोर्सेस, मेक अ डायरेक्ट इम्पैक्ट ऑन गूगल AI, बिल्ड योर पोर्टफोलियो विद गूगल सर्टिफिकेट्स। अच्छा, मेरे को बताओ कोविड में कितने लोगों ने सर्टिफिकेशंस किए? लॉट में किए? अच्छा, उसमें से प्रॉपर गूगल के सर्टिफिकेशन कितने लोगों ने किए? कोर्सेरा वाले नहीं, नॉर्मल वाले 30 डेज ऑफ गूगल। सो बेसिकली ये जो है लर्निंग कम्युनिटी, उससे आपको डायरेक्ट जो सर्टिफिकेट्स है गूगल के प्रॉपर वो भी प्रोवाइड होंगे। देन गूगलर के साथ आप एंगेज होंगे। उसके साथ साथ जो गूगल का क्राउडसोर्स का ऑफिशियल हैंडल है उसके ऊपर भी आप फीचर होंगे। सो अपने में एक है जो ऑलरेडी कम्युनिटी के पेज पे हो चुका है फीचर, सारंग पाठरा में। सो वही कैंपस के लिए इंटरेस्टेड हो ना? पक्का देखो बरा, करो फॉर्म भरो जल्दी। चलो मैं QR कोड दे देता हूँ. स्कैन कर लो ये वाला. सो बेसिकली जैसे आप ये फिल कर दोगे फॉर्म, ये सिर्फ स्टूडेंट्स के लिए नहीं है, प्रोफेशनल्स के लिए भी है. बेसिकली इसमें दो कम्युनिटीज़ है, एक स्टूडेंट कम्युनिटी और एक प्रोफेशनल कम्युनिटी. सो आप बहुत मतलब दोनों भी रजिस्टर कर सकते हो. तो जैसे रजिस्टर कितने लोग, मतलब फॉर्म की लिंक सबकी इसमें ओपन होगी, ठीक है. रजिस्टर करो, फिर उसके बाद आप में से जो लोग हैं कुछ शॉर्ट लिस्ट होंगे, एंड देन आपके जितने भी कैंपसेस है तो उनको ऑफिशियली चला जाएगा कि यस यू आर द पार्ट ऑफ गूगल क्राउडसोर्स टीम. एंड मेन मतलब ये जो लर्निंग कम्युनिटी है उसके जितने भी कोर्सेस और जो कुछ भी है उसके लिए आप लोग रहोगे. करो नेक्स्ट पे, सबने ले लिया. It is for only reference, so we can cross verify. हाँ वो फैकल्टी मेंबर के डिटेल्स, एटलीस्ट एक दो फैकल्टी मेंबर, स्पेशली HOD होंगे तो वेल एंड गुड. सो बेसिकली ये गूगल स्पेशली नागपुर में ये लॉन्च करने जा रहा है. ये अभी तक कम्युनिटी कहीं पे भी लॉन्च नहीं हुई है, ना गूगल IO में हुआ है, ना किधर. पहली बार नागपुर में गूगल की ये कम्युनिटीज लॉन्च होने जा रही है जिसका नाम है लैंग्वेज बेस्ड कम्युनिटी. अच्छा, यहाँ पे मराठी कितने लोगों को आती है? तेलुगु, मलयालम, उड़िया, मैथिली तो पता है, संस्कृत आता है? क्या बात है. सो कितने लोग लैंग्वेज बेस्ड कम्युनिटी बनाना चाहते हो, लैंग्वेज बेस्ड कम्युनिटी के ऑर्गेनाइजर बनना चाहते हैं? सो फॉर दैट कश्मीरी कितने लोगों को पता है, आते हैं? सो बेसिकली बहुत सारी कॉग्निटिव सर्विसेज है जिसमें लैंग्वेजेस अवेलेबल नहीं है. तो जैसे कि आप उड़िया लेते हो तो उड़िया देखना कि बंगाली के साथ थोड़ी मैच करती है. तो जितने भी लोग इसमें इंटरेस्टेड है ये कम्युनिटी में, सो स्कैन कर लो, फॉर्म फिल कर लो, डायरेक्ट आपको गूगल की टीम से इनवाइट आ जाएगा और आप एक पूरे कम्युनिटी के स्पेशली फॉर दैट लैंग्वेज आप उसके ऑर्गेनाइजर बन जाओगे. साथ साथ में गूगल के जो इवेंट रहते हैं उसमें भी आपको इनवाइट रहेगा. साथ साथ में बहुत सारी चीज़ें जो है गूगल की, ये अभी जस्ट शुरू हुई है और इंडिया में पहला इवेंट है जिसमें ये लॉन्च किया गया. अभी तक बहुत सारे क्लाउड कम्युनिटी डेज हुए, GDG के डेवफेस्ट हो रहे हैं और कहाँ पे भी ये इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं हुआ है. नागपुर से इंट्रोड्यूस होने वाला है और ये जो इवेंट है, ये वाला जो सेक्शन है, ये हर जगह पे जितने भी न्यूज़लेटर है वहाँ पे देखा जाएगा. सो मैं चाहता हूँ कि अपने नागपुर से ही मैक्सिमम लोगों को ये कम्युनिटी मिले. सो कितने लोग इंटरेस्टेड हैं? चलो क्वाइट फ्यू. सब स्कैन कर लिया. सो क्राउडसोर्स ऐप पे आ जाओ सब लोग. डाउनलोड हो गया क्या? मेरे को सुने हैं किसी से बोल रहा है कि डाउनलोड नहीं हो रहा है. हो गया? तो एक काम करो, अब सेटिंग में जाओ. सेटिंग में गए सब लोग? वहाँ पे रेफरल वाला दिख रहा है कहाँ पे? इनवाइट आ गया? इनवाइट के बाजू में देख उसमें नीचे कुछ कोड का सेक्शन आ रहा है? आ रहा है? सो बेसिकली अभी हम कुछ आपको एक्टिविटीज़ देने वाले हैं और गूगल ने स्पेशली 3 सर्वर या एक्टिविटीज़ के लिए रखा गया है। तो मैं आपको एक QR कोड एक कोड बताऊंगा, वो सबको आपको उसमें एंटर करना है और वो एक्टिविटीज़ को कंप्लीट करना है। जो एक्टिविटीज़ कंप्लीट करेगा उसके लिए हमने कुछ स्पेशल गुडीज ला के रखी है और जो टॉप कंट्रीब्यूटर होंगे उनको बाद में स्पेशल गुडीज उनके घर में आ जाएंगी, या फिर अगर आप रिसीव कर सकते हो तो आपको एक एड्रेस दिया जाएगा, वहाँ से आपको रिसीव करना पड़ेगा। ठीक है? सो मैं आपको एक कोड बता रहा हूँ। सो एक काम करो, इनवाइट कोड में लिखो 3, B फॉर बॉम्बे, 2 सब कैपिटल है, C फॉर चेन्नई एंड देन 2। फिर से बताता हूं मैं, 3, B फॉर बॉम्बे, 2, C फॉर चेन्नई, 2। मैं एक बार नोटपैड पे भी लिखता हूँ। दिख रहा है सबको? कितने लोगों ने डाल दिया कोड? अप्लाई नहीं हो रहा? सो 0 अल्फा, अभी को दे देते कोड, देखो 0 अल्फा, 4 F फॉर फिश, 7। हो गया? कितने लोगों का हुआ वो कोड? दोनों हुए? सही बात है। चलो एक बार ये वाला कोड ट्राई करो, बाकी के बचे हुए देखो, और एक बार ट्राई करो।
मे बी इंटरनेट इश्यू होगा, इसका आप फोटो निकाल के रख सकते हो एंड लेटर यू कैन ट्राई।
हम आपको दोनों भी दे देते, ठीक है? चलो अभी जो टास्क है सारंग बताएंगे एग्जैक्ट क्या क्या टास्क है।
फर्स्ट टास्क है इमेज लेवल वेरिफिकेशन, उसके बाद सेकंड टास्क है इमेज कैप्चर, देन थर्ड टास्क है स्मार्ट कैमरा एंड फोर्थ है हैंड राइटिंग वाला। एक बार नोट में डाल दो दिनेश, एक बार नोट में डाल दो। फर्स्ट टास्क है इमेज लेवल वेरिफिकेशन, second image capture, third है smart camera, and fourth translation, एंड इनका जो हाईएस्ट कंट्रीब्यूटर रहेगा उनको आज अभी एंड सेशन में आपको गुडीज मिलेंगे और बाकी चीज़ें भी आपको साथ में मिलेगा। इफ इन केस अभी नहीं मिला तो आपका एड्रेस एंड बाकी चीज़ें भी है, आप जो प्रोवाइड करोगे वहाँ पे आपको पोस्ट थ्रू आ जाएगा।
सो बेसिकली ये अभी इसके बाद हम लंच ब्रेक देंगे, उसके बाद आपको एक फॉर्म दिया जाएगा। जितने लोग सबसे ज़्यादा कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे उनके लिए अलग गुडीज है। सेकंड, सोशल मीडिया पे अभी तक कितने लोगों ने पोस्ट डाला, कितने रिट्वीट्स है?
ट्वीट्स है कि इंस्टा
इंस्टा
हैशटैग्स
ये कर रहे हो, ट्रेडिंग में जा रहे हैं? कितने लोगों ने व्यूज दिखे? 10 और
व्हाट्सएप स्टेटस पे आते हैं।
चलो अभी ये है कि बेसिकली 3-4 चीज़ों पे गुडीज मिलने वाले। तो ये कंट्रीब्यूट जितने आप करोगे उसको आपको उतने अलग अलग गुडीज भी मिलेगी, साथ साथ जो गूगल के कुछ प्रोग्राम्स है उसमें भी आपको मिलेगा चांस इनरोल होने का। और बेस्ड ऑन योर कंट्रीब्यूशन जितने भी लोगों ने कैंपस रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का फॉर्म भरा है उनको हम सिलेक्ट भी करेंगे, साथ साथ में जो लोकल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स है उससे हाईएस्ट लोकल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स में लिया जाएगा। सो चलो करो कंट्रीब्यूट, हम लंच के बाद मिलते हैं, आपको देते हैं QR कोड। सो थैंक्स। तो कितने लोग करोगे क्राउडसोर्स पे अभी टास्क कंप्लीट? कोशिश करोगे?
ट्राई करो,
जोर से कोशिश करोगे? भूख लगी है लगता सबको, लगी है? चलो ठीक है,
एनर्जी तो कम हो गई है, राइट अनिरुद्ध?
करेक्ट। आई थिंक सो, मैं होप करता हूँ
जोश नहीं है। सो या
लंच के बाद मेरे को लगता है लोग कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे, करोगे कि नहीं करोगे?
डेफिनेटली यस, राइट?
अरे यार जोर से थोड़ा सा।
नहीं है, जोश ही नहीं है यार, क्या है ये? बोलो, थोड़ा जल्दी बोलो।
यस चलो ठीक है, थैंक यू। आफ्टर
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। सो द थिंग इज फर्स्ट दिस सेक्शन विल go through the door and we'll have the lunch. It's in the cafeteria, right? So volunteers, please be present here. And definitely do network with everyone, right? That's it.
अच्छा, लंच ब्रेक जो है
second section, please just sit down.
अच्छा, किसी को कनेक्ट होना रहा तो आप लिंक्डइन पे भी रिनेश हो गया, मैं हो गया, सारंग हो गया, तनिष्क हो गया, आप किसी को भी कर सकते हो। यस और लंच
Lunch will be about 1 hour, so we'll meet you at 3 o'clock.
अच्छा, थोड़ा सा एक स्लॉट्स में जाओ क्योंकि एकदम वहाँ पे अगर गर्दी हो जाओगे तो जगह ही नहीं है, थोड़ा ठीक है। तब तक नेटवर्क कर सकते हो, नेटवर्किंग सेशन कर सकते हो।
पीछे देखो, पीछे पीछे तो देखो और नेटवर्क करो।
ठीक है, तो बाहर स्पीकर्स भी आप उनके साथ भी नेटवर्क कर सकते हैं। ठीक है।